Hey there, Tri-5 enthusiasts. Welcome back to Classic Chevy Revival. I'm your host, Kevin, and today we're going to jump into a topic that's essential, I guess, for any vintage car lover. Photography, that is. So get ready to sharpen your skills and capture the essence of these timeless beauties as we explore the top tips for classic car photography. Now that it's pretty much officially spring, the weather will start providing some great opportunities to take out your Tri-5 and get some awesome photos. It'll show off that wax job you painstakingly applied. You know, our last video, we covered taking drives with your Tri-5. And, while you're out doing that, you're going to want to take pictures of things that you've seen. Maybe a decent backdrop for your car. And so, I'm not an expert at this. However, I'm not a professional photographer, but I did receive training during my working years. So let's consider the time of day and your available lighting. It might seem simple and almost obvious, but it's important to consider your lighting when you're trying to get that perfect shot. Shadows and glares can become a real nuisance and hinder your chance to emphasize the essence of your ride. Because of this, you should consider shooting either earlier in the day or later in the day. When the sun is on top of your subject during the midday, it can lead to difficult lighting conditions, and you'll probably need to get creative in order to offset that. If you must shoot during this time of day, it's recommended that you utilize landmarks such as buildings to help mask some of that troublesome direct light. And you could also consider a polarizer filter. These simple and relatively inexpensive additions to your setup, they can make a huge difference in your shot, especially when your subject is something like a car which has many reflective surfaces. So quite simply, these additions to your lens help to filter out unwanted reflections in things like glass, or let's say moisture and pollution in the atmosphere. And it helps to maximize the depth and clarity of your image before you even snap the photo. And yes, they're available for your camera phone as well. All right, let's beware of reflections as well. As we, pretty obviously stated, vehicles are reflective. And you should take this into consideration when trying to get that perfect shot of your Tri-5. Especially if your vehicle has a lot of chrome like many of our cars do. Vehicle reflections have a tendency to mirror objects that you wouldn't even expect. So, it's important to be conscious of the surroundings, including your position when taking the photo. Well, let's talk about angles and positions. When shooting a vehicle, there's several angles that will help to make the most of lines and curves that you're probably looking to feature. So consider the following shots when trying to get the most from your exterior images. Take the photo front head on, also the front 1/3 angle of the vehicle, the front 3/4 angle of the vehicle, then move around to the side head on, and then the rear 1/3 angle, the rear 3/4 of an angle, and the rear head on. These shots, have become somewhat of a standard in the world of car photography as they generally capture the best attributes of the subject vehicle. However, there are also a few other tips and tricks that can really allow you to get the most out of your car. First, when shooting at an angle, be sure to turn the wheels, the front wheels, so that they are directly facing the photographer. Secondly, when shooting at an angle, make sure that you're capturing all 4 wheels in the shot. Otherwise, your vehicle will have a sort of a tripod effect and look just a little bit off. Play around with depth, height, and perspective to really make that shot your own. By shooting from a lower position, you can give the car a more aggressive stance. By shooting higher, you can use the environment to accent your classic bodywork. Also, consider motion blur. One of our favorite tips for shooting your classic is to take advantage of motion blur to give an added dimension to your photo. These are the shots that make a car look fast, even in a still image. And to accomplish this effect, it's important to set your camera shutter speed, if you can do that, at 1/80th to 1/100th. From there, you can either have someone drive your vehicle past your camera as you focus and shoot the body, and this will give an effect of the wheels and background blurred while the body remains in focus, giving you that look of movement. You can also expand upon this by safely using a chase car in a closed-off area to get an even more dramatic action shot. And from your chase car, again, make sure that you're focusing on the subject vehicle's body and shooting with a slower shutter speed to create an effect of the surrounding movement while simultaneously capturing the characteristics of the car. Also, be sure to consider your surrounding environment. And last on our list of tips is something that is often overlooked and underestimated, and that's capturing the perfect shot is a combination effort of a number of different tactics and styles. However, you can really set your vehicle apart by utilizing a great backdrop to add character. Be conscious of your shot and try not to include too many distracting variables that will draw attention away from the subject of your shot. And at the same time, you can also use the environment to your advantage by including depth in your image or complementing it with great scenery. Of course, there are several other tips and tricks that professionals have been using for years, and maybe you have your own unique way of getting that perfect shot. So let us know what you think of our list, and please feel free to share any other tips and tricks you use or that you have heard. And that wraps up our guide to mastering classic Chevy photography here on Classic Chevy Revival. As always, thank you for watching. And be sure, please, to like and subscribe and leave your comments below with any tips and tricks to photographing your Tri-5. Remember, it's not just about preserving history. It's about reviving the spirit of these iconic rides. So until next time, keep the passion alive, revive, and drive.